What's your view now that we moved toward the end of the first presidency, first African American presidency? Has it turned out to be the capstone on this period of American history that maybe it was imagined to be 50 years ago?
Well, I hope not. I didn't believe that Barack Obama would win the presidency. I thought it was foolish for me to vote for him because this is a wasted vote. That would not happen. And it wasn't until he won in Iowa, this whitest of white states, that I thought this was possible and that he could do it. And of course, as we know, he did. And I really think the second election was more important than the first because he's running on a record now, not on promises, but on a record. And he did it. And I thought it was a wonderful, wonderful thing. And he's been, to me, a disappointment in some ways and has not done some things I wish he would have done or have done things I wish he hadn't done. But I think it's been a wonderful thing for the country to happen. And I think for the country, it's a step forward. But it's only a step. And we need to take many, many more steps. And the steps don't necessarily include electing another black president, although they could.
And Bob, what's your sense? And we literally just have a few minutes. How do you feel about where we stand in the country today in terms of Barack Obama? Or are we on the path that we should be on? Or are we any nearer where we should be?
So let me say what I think about the country. Right. So I think about the country in terms of 3/4 of a century units of time. Right. And I think we're celebrating 50ths. So 50 is 2/3 of 75, right? And so we're in our third 3/4 of a unit century of time, right? And if you think about the preamble, right, the We the People, and you think that as we began, 1787, we began with the reach of the preamble, who the We the People were, the constitutional people, were the white male property owners, right? And you go for 3/4 of a century, and the constitutional people have a huge falling out with each other over their constitutional property, right? And they murder each other, 600,000, right?
Over slavery.
Over slavery, constitutional property, right? And so, but the country can't quite figure out that the former constitutional property should really be constitutional people. And we go with what your book says, slavery by another name, for 3/4 of a century, right? And we get the civil rights movement, and we lurch, right? We're a country that lurches, but we lurch back and forward in roughly, so far, every 3/4 of a century, right? And so we're lurching right now, right? It isn't clear whether we're going to lurch forward again or lurch back, right? But we're going to lurch.